If you took this room and you said that there was some disease in this room, and you found a few people that exist in this room who have what some doctors might call autoimmune problems, and then you found a few other people in this room who had what some doctors might call chronic fatigue, and then you found some other people who were just sick without explanation in this room, and no doctor could really make a good diagnosis, and you said, let's start from here, and let's create a new disease. Now, granted, most of the people in the room are healthy, but there are a few sick people, and so what we want to do is we want to tie all this together so that we can say that all the people that are sick in the room are sick for the same reason, even though that is not true. So we'll find a germ, and we'll say that everybody that has an immune problem, or has got a chemical sensitivity problem, or has got fatigue problem, or whatever, is suffering from a germ, and we'll call it Omabamba from deepest, darkest Africa. It somehow got loose in Orange County because an airline pilot for American Airlines was on vacation in Zaire, and when he came back to Orange County, he carried this into the Red Lion Hotel. So we'll call this the Red Lion plague that infects a certain small percentage of the people in this room. And then what we'll try to do is devise a test which will indicate whether the people in this room who don't seem to be ill might later become ill. And we'll call this the Red Lion antibody test. And if people show certain kinds of antibodies, we'll say, you're going to die later on. And eventually we'll terrorize about 70 to 80% of the people in the room, so that when they wake up in the morning, if they have a pimple, or they don't feel good, or they had too much coffee, or they smoked a cigarette, or they drove in heavy traffic where they didn't get enough sleep, they're going to think that they have the Red Lion plague. Because they're all terrorized, because they all know that they were here in the same night, in the same room, and that's where this thing all began, you see. It was on August, whatever it is, 15th. And now we'll devise a drug, which if anybody tests positive for Red Lion plague, we can give them, assuring them that it will knock out the germ. But in reality, just between you and me, it will make them waste away. It will make them have muscle atrophy, pernicious anemias. It'll stop DNA replication in the body. It'll destroy the bone marrow where immune system cells are manufactured, and they'll all die. And as they die, gradually, that will terrorize other people in the room, because they will think that they're dying of a disease. And we'll begin to sort of form the idea of a dying community of people that are sort of held together by the fact that they were in this room at the same time, so that people get to know each other and they can commiserate with one another, and they can say, you know, I went to the funeral of last week he died, remember? He was a nice guy, and we had a little talk outside. Yes, I remember this, and so forth, and so on, etc. Blah, 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 blah. And pretty soon, you've got 30 or 40% of the people in the room are dead. Now everybody's terrorized. And that's the situation with AIDS. That's what AIDS is. That's the paradigm. That's what's happening. In any group of people, you will find some people who are ill for various reasons. They don't feel good. And of those people, you will find a certain percentage that seem to be engaging in activities that are causing them to be ill. In other people, that's not obvious at all. In fact, it's not true. But the point is to somehow terrorize people and to make them all believe that something is the matter with them because they are part of a group. by simply being part of a group, something is the matter with them. That's the subliminal messaging. If you're gay, if you're Haitian, if you're from Africa, if you're a hemophiliac, if you've ever used intravenous drugs, there's something the matter with you because you were part of that group. And it's a statement that you can never shake off. In Nazi Germany, they would have said you're a gypsy, you're a Jew, you're gay, you're black, you're non-Aryan. In America, the HIV test is the mark. Okay? That's the mark. Now, once you have the mark, the only way to get rid of the mark, even a little bit, is to go along with the system and to take the drug. This means you're a good boy or you're a good girl. That will help you get rid of the mark. They said, in actuality, it will kill you. It's a neat trick, isn't it? One with the left hand, all together. The drug. It will help you eradicate the stain of the mark. Some people would call that eradication. Now, it's great that have unbrainwashed themselves, who have undone the mind control operation upon which that's based. They do it with some effort. It is not a simple little ditty that they sing to themselves that sets them free from that. It takes some doing. Just as it would take some doing for you if 40% of the people in this room began to die, and you would have to unravel the mystery of what that's all about and eventually convince yourself that there was nothing wrong with you because you happened to be in this room this night. And of the many people that I've interviewed as a reporter who have recovered from the mark or from illness, some of which is called AIDS, I found some common denominators. The most important of which is the simple fact that they did unbrainwash themselves from the system. And it takes a certain kind of personality to do that. It takes a certain kind of relentless, tough-minded, independent person to pull that off, who trusts their own thinking. That's very important. And I've met a number of people like this who have gone on to good health. But they never would have been able to go on to good health, never would have been able to try the various kinds of alternative medicine and alternative practices that are available with any success if they hadn't been able to unbrainwash themselves from the central theme, which is what I've described, the mark. So the first step is being able to do that, and you've gotten an entree into enough information tonight to make it clear to any of you who need to unbrainwash yourselves that there is a way to do that. It's by getting at the truth, and by focusing on the truth, and by studying it, and by realizing that there is a incredible death dance boondoggle going on in this country since 1984 vis-a-vis AIDS. Now, once you've started to unbrainwash yourself, you soon realize that you are like a lot of other people who are unbrainwashing themselves from various kinds of destructive information that relates to health, to politics, to all sorts of dire situations.